Welcome back. Now before we get into our first code in the next lesson, I want to go over just a few of the things that you'll need to be able to follow along in this course. Ideally, you'll be working on some type of a laptop or desktop computer, whether it's Windows, Mac, or Linux. But if you are working on say a tablet or a phone, it will be possible to work along, but in my opinion, it's going to be a lot harder. So ideally, you'll have either some type of desktop or laptop. So two things you're going to need. One is a web browser. JavaScript is a web-based language, and now you can do backend with when you get into Node.js and some of that, but we're not going to be getting into that in this course. So everything that we're going to be doing will be interpreted by the browser. So you're going to need a browser to run the code in. So most modern browsers have developer tools built into them, which are very useful. So some of the common browsers, and I like to use multiple browsers to test my code to make sure it's working correctly in all of them. So whether you're using Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari, any of these are going to be great. I do not remember for certain if Safari has the developer tools, but the other three definitely do. I've not worked on a Mac for a while, so I cannot remember on Safari, but Chrome, Edge, and Firefox definitely have the developer tools, which will be very useful when you get in and use that console to do some error testing and that kind of stuff. And then we need some type of a code editor. Now, it is possible using one of those web browsers that has the developer tools, it is possible to go into the console and you can type right in there and do all your coding right there, but it's going to be very hard to make any kind of large projects with that. You could just do it for simple testing, especially here at the beginning where you're just learning some of the basic commands. But then to make any type of worthwhile web page, larger projects, you're going to need some type of a code editor. So some of the common ones that you will see used with JavaScript are Sublime Text, Visual Studio Code, Brackets, Atom, Notepad++, and BBEdit. I have not used all of these. I've used most of them, and they are all pretty good. The one that I will be using in this course, if you want to follow along and have everything look exactly the same, which I recommend for anybody who is a complete beginner, I'm going to be using Brackets. I've been using this for the past year, and I really enjoy and like Brackets. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the best one on here. Visual Studio Code is outstanding, but I think Brackets is just a little bit easier to use, especially when I'm working with beginners. So I'm going to be using Brackets. There is a Windows and a Mac version of that, so whether you're working on Windows or Mac, you can use Brackets. Now, if you are working on a tablet or something where you will not be able to download any of these editors, there are some online options. Here are three that I have found that are pretty decent: PlayCode, CodePen, and JS.do or JSDo. So those three are all online editors that you can use if you are using a tablet, iPad, phone, or something else where you're not going to be able to run one of the other programs. So really that is all you're going to need to get started in writing JavaScript. So find one of those, find the one you like, test on them, and then I will see you back in the next lesson where we will write our first code.